one sentence in the Torah, in this Torah portion that I find particularly interesting, which is, Lo tov Adam liot levado. It's not good for men to be alone. It's not good for Adam or for men, you could say, to be alone. Now, the question is, how are we together? So if it's not good to be alone, how can we come together? Now, this is one of my childhood rabbis, Rabbi Manes Kogan, who is a rabbi in Brooklyn, says, a very interesting thing is that God created all the creatures and said that men and women are supposed to manage them, are supposed to, what's the word he uses? He says, dominate them. Dominate them. You're supposed to dominate them. The only creature that they are not supposed to dominate is each other. They are not supposed to dominate each other. They are not supposed to try to dominate fellow human beings. And says Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, we are supposed to try to dominate, if we are lucky, the self. Over 6 days, says Heschel, we are trying to dominate the world, at least the creatures of the world, hopefully not fellow human beings. On the 7th day in Shabbos, that is introduced to us in this very Torah portion, we try to dominate our souls. But then the rabbis say, actually, the reason we are created after all these animals is to tell us that flies were created before us. So to give us some humility, to give us some balance, like everything was here before you arrived. So try to be careful, say the rabbis in Sanhedrin. Now, there's a pair created in the book of Genesis. The first chapter of the book of Genesis, Adam and Eve are created. Zachar v'nekeva bara otam. Chapter 1, verses 26, 27, 28. Now, in the second chapter of the book of Genesis, there's a woman created again, and this time from a rib. What happened? Well, apparently, the first relationship didn't work out. And she left. There is a strong statement by itself in the Torah, and it's that woman, two different women, or maybe the same, is created twice. Something didn't work out in the first try. Now the second try, the book of Genesis says, starts by saying, Vayomer Adonai Elohim lo tov iot Adam levado. The rabbis say that Adam was heartbroken after number one left. He felt very lonely, and he was complaining to God. And so God says, it's not good for Adam to be alone. And so he says, I will create Eser kenegdo. Now, this choice of words is a challenging one. Ezer kenegdo. Ezer means Ezra, help. Kenegdo is in front of him or against him. Now, the rabbis say, well, now the translation is usually, I will create him a helper. That's not what the Torah says. And I don't think that that's the intention. Now, the rabbis take it to two different places that I think are fascinating. Totally lost. My page just fell. That's why I'll find it. The rabbis take it to two different places in Yevamot. There's 63a. So in Yevamot, in the 63rd page of Talmud Yevamot, they speak about two different things. They say first, she can be of help to him. They can be helpful to each other if they succeed to interact well. But they also can be against each other if they don't know how to communicate. And so it's Eser kenegdo. You might be able to help each other, or you might be against each other. Your choice. But then they say, well, there are different roles. And each time that each of them fulfill a different role, the job of the other one, of the significant other, is to elevate and to complement the work of the other one. And then they become Eser of Esra, of help to each other. And this is a very important idea, how we navigate our walk throughout the world, as trying to help each other, trying to complement each other, or we are against each other. And here's the last thing. Now, and the question is, what's the real meaning of not being alone? Adam and Eve are told not to eat from the fruit of the tree of knowledge. And at the moment they eat, they will become knowledgeable. The first one who eats is Eve. So there is a moment in which she knows absolutely everything, and he doesn't know anything. She knows everything. She ate. All the knowledge is in her power. And I think that for that moment is the statement, it's not good for men and women to be alone. The loneliness of being the only one who knows. The loneliness of being the only one who understands. He doesn't know. She knows. And so she decides to share with him. And the two of them become knowledgeable. I hope that the book of Genesis and the reading of this new cycle of the Torah inspire us to be of help for each other and to share with each other and to build friendships and community, because it is not good to be alone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.